us. Donna, put it close to you, and I take a photo.
Huh?
Close to you. Amigas, déjenme compartir esta realidad antes de darle la palabra a mi invitada, Donna Cooper, directora ejecutiva de PCCY. Nuestros niños siguen sufriendo los efectos de la recesión económica. Nuestros niños están más afectados por la pobreza que nuestros adultos mayores. Los riesgos de pobreza varían por raza y por etnia, y la movilidad en la escala social sigue siendo muy elusiva. Una de las formas de salir de este tremendo problema es algo que PCCY ha llamado Child Wellness Index, que es el índice de bienestar infantil. Y esto tiene 4 secciones: bienestar económico, salud, educación temprana y educación de kinder a grado 12. Donna, welcome to the show again. It's a pleasure to have you here. And please tell us, why should we be concerned about education funding?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy to be a part of Team Mujer, because this is the place where women, Latina, gringos, anybody, Anglos, anybody can come together and talk about these really important issues that affect women. And so I'm thrilled to be here. And for us, for women, education funding is so important because, like it or not, education is how women get equality in America, right?
Yeah.
And when our state, Pennsylvania, has the worst system for funding schools of any state in America. So the richest schools to the poorest schools, the biggest gap is here in Pennsylvania. And that's because our legislature is so far away in Harrisburg, right?
Yeah.
And they put so little money into public education. So we're in the bottom of all the states. I mean, there's a few worse states like Mississippi, Alabama, but by and large, certainly of the northern states, the more developed states, the more enlightened states, we're at the bottom. And so what that means is, if you're going to school in Philadelphia, or you're going to school in Norristown or Upper Darby or Bristol, you have half of the educational quality and resources than you would have if you were going to somewhere like Upper Merion or Lower Merion or Abington.
That's big.
It's very big. It's half. And in fact, people say, oh, Philadelphia does such a bad job. Well, with half of the money that Lower Merion has, Philadelphia gets half the results. So I think it's pretty good, given that Lower Merion's children are so advantaged. They should be doing way better than twice us with having
Absolutely.
twice the money.
Yes.
So the state is supposed to level that out. Schools are funded in part by property taxes and in part by state revenues. And in Pennsylvania, because our state's so cheap, isn't doing its fair share, basically it's a property tax dependent system. And in Lower Merion, they pay lower taxes, but their houses are so big that they get more money out of every house, even at a lower tax rate. So they have $28,000 to spend per kid in Lower Merion at school, and we have about 11 or 12,000 in Philly. Yeah. So, you know, high school plays, after school programs, small classes, sports, AP, extra help for kids falling behind. We don't have those things. They have private violin lessons in Lower Merion, you know? And this is, you know, I don't begrudge the Lower Merion. It's crazy. But it's no way to run a country, and it's certainly no way to run a state.
With this gap.
With this gap. And we have, kindergarten classes with 24, 25 kids in them, some of them 27, with one teacher. That's terrible for those children. The ones that are struggling will fall behind, and the ones that could be accelerating aren't getting attention. So we're really undermining our children's future. And certainly, you know, for girls, that could mean undermining their future for the long term, but also for every child going to school. So we have been part of trying to get the state to amp up or ramp up how it funds the schools so that we can get equality for every child in school and they can get better education.
And I'm pretty sure, Donna, that we as a women, we don't know that. As a moms, we don't know that. We think that the school is doing their best, which is happening. No doubt about it. But we don't know about these differences in the same state, and we need to pay attention, because this is the future of our kids that determine if our kid is going to be successful in the future or not, if they are going to be able to get into a college or not, or if we are just creating or educating our young people just to be on del barrio, which is good to be on del barrio, but it's nice if you have the option to go out, you know, and have other experience and probably go back to the barrio, but with this education they can't do.
Well, and I will say, you know, I've had a couple conversations with folks that I know who live in the barrio, and one of the things that's very surprising to me is so many mothers are unaware of the fact that even for a job at Comcast as a cable installer, even for a job at Verizon as a phone technician, every one of those jobs requires a college degree. And so you're not able to get into a decent job anymore without a college degree. And I mean not a desk job, any job. And when I've talked to mothers about this, they're like looking at me, they tilt their head and they're like, what do you mean? My child is not likely to go to college. I mean, we're not going to have the money. They're not that motivated. I'm like, but the economy has changed. You cannot get a job that can support yourself without a college education. I have a member of my family who, you know, went to college and applied for jobs. And, you know, he got a job that pays like, you know, $35,000. And that was with a college degree, you know. So it's an entry-level requirement now. And our high schools in Philadelphia, because they're so underfunded, are not able to make sure that every kid graduating can ready to go to college. And
this is a tragedy.
It's an economic tragedy, and it's a family tragedy. And it can change by getting the state to do what other states do. Maryland, New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, they fund their schools. Now, the courts have forced them to do so. And there is a lawsuit to force our state to do so. But the fact is, it is up to the state legislature. And so people who live in Philly, you know, we have state representatives. We have Angel Cruz. We have Martina White. We have two people who have not been strong fans of stepping up for the schools. I mentioned them specifically. We have other legislators who have been very strong for supporting the schools. So Bill Keller and Curtis Thomas, very strong in supporting schools. It varies, you know, based on the legislator, but particularly the people who represent parts of the barrio, who are, you know, who are supposed to be representing the people, they are not carrying that flag to Harrisburg.
Bueno, amigas, ustedes están escuchando a Donna Cooper, directora ejecutiva de PCCY, y ella nos está trayendo aquí a la mesa un problema bien importante, bien serio, y que probablemente no pensamos en ello, y es la gran brecha que existe en el mismo estado, en la misma Filadelfia, en las escuelas que tienen una buena inversión de dinero, las que no lo tienen, pero también los padres que exigen que sus escuelas tengan esta inversión. La educación puede ser 2 veces mejor que la que sucede en nuestras escuelas en el barrio, y para las personas que nos escuchan que están por fuera de Filadelfia o en la costa este o en Latinoamérica, pues esta es una situación grave que se refleja, las diferencias entre clases que se reflejan en Latinoamérica, desafortunadamente también se reflejan aquí en la costa este, específicamente en Filadelfia, donde el barrio, los latinos, no necesariamente tienen la mejor calidad en términos de educación. Ahora, ya sabemos que Filadelfia tuvo un rebote, es decir, que hay más familias viviendo en mayor pobreza hoy, más que en la última depresión económica, y la mayoría son niños black and brown, los que no tienen acceso a una buena educación, y tenemos que actuar para que niños y niñas, sin importar la raza, la etnia, el código postal, tengan recursos para salir bien de la escuela y en la vida. Donna también nos está diciendo que desafortunadamente nuestros políticos latinos, que deberían estar cargando esta bandera, como es el caso de Ángel Cruz, pues debería estar luchando más por nuestra comunidad y realmente uniéndose a esta batalla. Donna, what can we do as a community, as a women, moms? How can we fix this problem? It is because we don't push enough. It is because we don't know how to do it. It is because we don't think that it is happening, so we don't act.
Well, I think the first thing is, I don't know whether we can do this right here, but think about it. Let's pretend to call Representative Cruz. So you play cruise, and I'll pay the caller. So you say, I ring the phone. Okay, you're State Representative Angel Cruz. Hello.
Yes, hello. This is Mr. Angel Cruz.
Yes, I am Donna. I live in your district. I want you to go to Harrisburg and support a tax increase for our schools. My children are in underfunded schools, and I understand you have not voted yes in the past. I need you to vote yes.
Well, I do, and I go all the time to Harrisburg, and I try to fight for your rights, but I think education is something that we have to discuss together. And why do I have to vote yes, Donna? I think I can support more charter schools than public schools, so...
But my child goes to a charter school. Even in Philadelphia, charter schools are funded the same way the Philly schools are funded, the regular schools, and they're both underfunded. So, you know, it's not a question of charter versus regular. It's about the fact that we're in the worst state when it comes to funding of our schools. You know the school funding system is broken. I need you to vote for some way to put more money into the schools. And I'm going to start to get my neighbors to call you too.
Okay, Donna, I will do it. Thank you very much for calling me. So this is very interesting, Donna, because probably they are not going to get him on the phone.
Right.
Probably it's going to be
an assistant.
An assistant.
Right.
So as a mother...
But it matters because, you know, legislators get very few calls. Typically what a state house member will tell you is once they get 7 calls, they're pretty freaked out. So it doesn't take much to get people's attention. And so, you know, people could get 5 people on their block to make a call.
Yeah. Very easily we can have 7
very
people
easily. And
calling.
I did the role play just to say you don't have to know too much.
Yeah.
It's not like the person on the other end is going to get into a big conversation.
That's true.
But they need to know that people know they are not doing their job.
And I want to play hard with you.
Yes, thank you.
But I wasn't hard.
But yes, yeah, but you know,
that's true. Donna.
People need to know it's not that hard. Just call and say, fund the schools, fund the schools, fund the schools, and they will get those calls, and they will have trouble not voting because they know that there's a tension back home.
This is interesting, Donna, because I think nowadays people more and more are getting involved, and they are thinking that, wow, if I don't do right, if I don't elect the right person, I'm going to be in trouble. So I think this is the moment to push the community, this is the moment to push all social movements to help and to change really our realities, because we can change it. So, mamás y mujeres latinas, Donna nos está dando un consejo muy importante que usualmente nosotros no lo hacemos. Yo no sé por qué no lo hacemos, y no lo hacemos también en nuestros países de Latinoamérica, y muchas veces no lo hacemos tampoco en otros estados de los Estados Unidos. Pero cogiendo como ejemplo Filadelfia y cogiendo el barrio como ejemplo, mamás, llamen a su representante de estado. Díganle lo que ustedes quieren. Anoten un papelito a qué hora llamó, quién le contestó en el teléfono y usted qué dijo. Llame a su vecina y dígale que llame a su tía, a su hermana, a su prima y dígales que llamen y creemos un movimiento donde nosotras como mujeres podamos exigirle a nuestros representantes que los fondos para educación sean mejores y que nuestros chicos tengan una mejor educación. De lo contrario, nuestros chicos jamás van a salir de la pobreza y no vamos a poder romper el círculo de pobreza. Así que este es el momento para llamar. Tenemos a Dan Mairena que se ha unido en nuestro Facebook y él está diciendo que pregunta, is there any specific legislation or initiative we should be calling our legislator for?
Yes. So the governor has proposed increasing funding for schools by $125 million. It sounds like a lot, but it's we're $3 billion short of where we should be. But nevertheless, he has asked for $125 million. And so when you call people, what you need to simply say is support the governor's proposed funding for schools. Very simple. That's the bill that will go through the legislature. Support the governor's funding for schools. It's $125 million for schools and $75 million for pre-K. So it's a big improvement. It's $200 million investment in
It's a lot
kids.
of money.
Yeah, and I think you know that Angel Cruz and Martina White both signed a court document against the pre-K money in Philly. So I don't know if people know that Senator Tony Williams, Angel Cruz, and Martina White were the 3 Philadelphia legislators that signed a court document urging that the soda tax be repealed and asking the judges to repeal it. And those 3, just in those 3 legislative districts, there are nearly 200 people working now in pre-K, and there are several hundred children in pre-K. So they really need to hear from people that they are not representing the interest of the people of their district. Maybe of Pepsi-Cola, but not the people of their district. And they could redeem themselves by standing up and saying they will support the governor's budget increase for education.
It's a surprise, Donna. We have Diana Garcia. She, by the way, she's a principal in a school in North Philly, and she's saying great information that allows all to get involved. You don't have to know how much, you don't have to know much, just advocate for our children.
So can I mention one thing? So on March 21st and March 22nd, we will be going to Harrisburg. They are the first 2 days that the House and Senate are back after their spring break. And so people could come with us to Harrisburg. You know, we leave at like 8 in the morning, we get back around 4, but when we're up there, we meet with leaders and we meet with the legislators from this region, and people themselves can tell their elected officials to fund the schools, so they could call PCCY or go on our website and sign up to come with us.
Well, Donna, can we meet? Para Ti Mujer is going to go to
Excellent,
Harrisburg, and we are
excellent.
going to push for the rights of our kids, because this is unbelievable, Donna. I mean, I think I don't have words. I mean, how you can go against the soda tax when we know 2 things. One, the money is going to help our kids, and secondly, we are not going to get sick, because in this case, the state has to intervene in our healthy issues, because we are not taking care of ourselves.
Exactly.
So the state has to do it, and has to say, stop, no more sugar, we are getting sick. Amigas, lo que está diciendo Donna es muy importante. Nosotros tenemos que dejar de quejarnos y tenemos que tomar nuestros pequeños gobiernos, nuestros gobiernos locales en nuestras manos. Y la solución es llamar a nuestros representantes. Recuerden que los representantes trabajan para nosotros. Nosotros no trabajamos para los representantes. Los representantes son servidores públicos, tienen que servirnos a nosotros en nuestras necesidades. Si ellos están tomando decisiones que no son las decisiones adecuadas, somos nosotros los que tenemos que decir, hey, por ahí no es la cosa, por favor decida otra cosa, porque yo tengo otras necesidades. Vamos todas, vamos, vecinas, tías, madres, primas, vamos en marzo 21 y marzo 22, vamos a Harrisburg, y si nuestros representantes, entre el que está el señor Ángel Cruz, no ha entendido cuáles son las necesidades que realmente tenemos, pues aprovechemos este momento de comunión en Harrisburg y digámosle qué es lo que nosotros realmente queremos. Así es como se juega el juego entre la sociedad civil y nuestros políticos. Donna, I know that you want to talk a little bit about dar una sonrisa a un niño, which is free, and we can also want to push a little bit more about pre-K, because it's a reality, and we are going to work hard with this. So what is happening with this news that you bring?
Yes, so you know when we take spring break at school, we take it from April 10th to April 14th, and in that week, PCCY has dentists who have volunteered across the city and across the region to do free dental care.
Excellent.
And so this is for families who don't have dental insurance. That's really the children we're trying to reach, and it's for children. And so if you would like to schedule an appointment for your child, you can call us at 563-5848, extension, 215-563-5848. and we will sign your child up for a free dental appointment, or all of your children. We know that there are children who are insured who don't go to the dentist, and we're going to ask you to make your appointments that week for your own kids too. But as you know, we have undocumented children and people who have limited health insurance, and so their children can't get to the dentist. And it's all these dentists are so generous and have signed up, and we want to use their time to help your child get their teeth fixed.
That's beautiful, Donna. So they don't have to be worried about papers,
No,
documents,
nothing.
Donna, PCCY is doing a great job.
We're trying.
You guys. Bueno, amigas, esto nos está diciendo Donna. Durante las vacaciones de primavera, del 10 de abril al 14 de abril, va a haber atención gratis en dentistería o odontología. Y ustedes pueden llamar al 215-563-5848. Lo voy a repetir, 215-563-5848 para tener gratuita, atención dental gratuita. No se olvídense de papeles, documentos, si soy legal o no soy legal, con lo cual son palabras horribles porque todos somos legales. Olvídense de eso, vayan, pidan la cita y hagan que sus niños tengan atención dental. Acuérdense que es PCCY, Public Citizens for Children and Youth. Y esta es una información increíble y realmente no tenemos palabras para agradecerle a Donna. Vayan al Facebook para ti Mujer con Emma Restrepo, ahí también va a estar la información y la vamos a poner después de salir de este programa de hoy domingo. Y también recordarles que está la inscripción para el prekinder. No se demore, presente su solicitud para septiembre de 2017 y recuerden que esto es gracias a el impuesto que se le está poniendo a las bebidas azucaradas. Es gracias al soda tax que estamos haciendo esto. Yo sé que las grocery stores están un poco molestas porque la gente supuestamente ha bajado las ventas, pero realmente ellos deben diversificar, deben ofrecer productos más saludables, ayudarnos a cambiarle los hábitos alimenticios a nuestra comunidad y saber que esto va para nuestros chicos. Donna, because we know that some grocery stores are a little mad because they say that sales have gone down. But what I'm saying is this is for something we have to change our habits and we need to offer different things that can replace sugar beverage.
Yeah, and also remember, there were layoffs announced at the Pepsi plant, at the Pepsi bottling plant. Those were planned layoffs. They were going to be cutting it. They already built a new plant in Bristol long before the soda tax was passed. So this is not a function of the soda tax. And ShopRite announced that they're laying off staff. I'm not sure why, but there are nearly more people that have now been employed in pre-K than have been affected by any of the fake news put out by the soda industry, you know. So, but yes, soda consumption is going down. That's a good thing for all of us.
That's good.
And we built it into the numbers for the pre-K. But the future of our city is with the kids. And if we can invest in these kids and they start school ready and we get our schools funded, like if we do this all together, then every business in every community is going to be more vibrant because people will be earning money and they'll be able to go to the corner stores and the grocery stores and buy everything they need. And now everybody's sort of struggling, and we don't need, this is a way we change the economy.
Exactly, Donna, and around the corner, probably 20, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years later, we are going to have kids much more educated and with more opportunities in this life.
Exactly.
Donna, Women's Day is this coming Wednesday.
Yes.
So, how do you feel about it?
I love International Women's Day. I think that, you know, the women who fought for our right to vote, the women who have fought around the world for the missing and the disappeared, the women who have fought around the world for human rights, you know, we are the voice for the issues that are really important to the planet, right? To every one of us, whether it's health or social services. And so I think the best thing to do on International Women's Day is to be on Facebook at Para Ti Mujer and send around information to other women about what they can do to improve their lives and lives of kids.
That's a great idea, Donna. Thank you very much. And chicas, ya oyeron a Donna. Vamos a celebrar el Día de la Mujer yendo al Facebook de Para Ti Mujer, dando los mensajes de cómo este mundo sería mejor, a qué nos comprometemos para hacer durante marzo que beneficie a las mujeres y beneficie a nuestras familias. Esa es la meta. Cada una de nosotras va a hacer algo para beneficiar nuestro barrio, nuestra casa, nuestra localidad, nuestra ciudad como mujeres, y lo vamos a poner en el Facebook de Para Ti Mujer y vamos a generar un movimiento. No se olviden de ir, go ahead, Donna.
And what you could do on March 8th is make your plans to be in Washington on April 29th. So on April 29th is the next big march. We had the Women's March. This is the next big march, and it's about climate change and human rights. And I think we need to demonstrate even greater growing public support for a humane agenda. So on March 8th, make your plans to be in Washington on April 29th.
So, abril 29, la marcha más grande de mujeres contra el cambio climático y los derechos humanos. Y no se olviden, marzo 21, marzo 22, Para Ti Mujer va a ir a Harrisburg a hablar con nuestros gobernadores y decirles, amigos, necesitamos otra manera de tomar decisiones en favor de nuestros niños. Donna, thank you very much.
You.
It's a pleasure to have you here,
My
and
pleasure.
don't go. You
Okay.
can stay. This is your home. Y chicas, no se vayan. Aquí nos tiene Jonathan una buena canción también para celebrar Día de la Mujer.